Have you ever thought, or maybe even said, I hope she gets what she deserves? Or to be even about it, maybe it was, I hope he gets what he deserves. Tit for tat, even Steven, turnabout is fair play. She did it to me, I'm going to do it to her. Sort of sounds like that bumper sticker that says, I don't get mad, I get even. Now, maybe you're ready to claim that you've never had thoughts like that, never thoughts, even fleeting thoughts of revenge and retaliation or getting even. And if so, you might want to check your pulse, because I think it's just a part of being human. It is our knee-jerk response to either being wronged or sometimes even just the perception that we have been wronged. All of this seems to just massage our sense of what's right and what's fair. And to be honest, as we look with Jesus at living beyond the letter of the law, we're sure that Jesus is going to tell us, well, you got that one right. That Jesus is going to put Jesus' stamp of approval on the ways of life that we're just so steeped in. And Jesus begins. You have heard it said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. It might just be the oldest book law on the books. It's a stab at basic justice that's been around for a long, long time across cultures. It shows up in the earliest code of law, the Code of Hammurabi, which dates to before 2200 BC. It pops up not once, not twice, but 3 times in the Old Testament. And by Jesus' day, it was a Roman law known as lex talionis. It's safe to say all of us have heard an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Now, when you get to thinking about that, it sounds a little bit gruesome, doesn't it? If you take it literally, there'd be a lot of one-eyed, toothless folks running around. It's sort of the notion of inflicting pain or injury as we feel has been inflicted upon us. It's all about payback. It's about tit for tat. But this law, from its very beginning, was startling. It was intended to curb our tendencies toward unlimited private revenge, and to put limits on getting back and getting even at someone who's wronged you. It was meant to put a limit on revenge and retaliation, as in only an eye for an eye and only a tooth for a tooth. Well, so far we're tracking with Jesus, but then Jesus continues. But I say to you, and then Jesus offers 3 examples of living beyond the letter of the law, and they're all right out of everyday life. First, Jesus says, if someone slaps you on the right cheek. Now, by the way, if you're right-handed and you're facing the person, the only way that you can do that is with a backhanded slap. And I hope you haven't been slapped any time recently, but maybe you've been slapped with a backhanded insult. Maybe you've experienced real or perceived slights. But there's Jesus and says, don't dish it back, not slap for a slap, insult for an insult. Instead, choose to turn the other cheek. And then Jesus takes us into our contentious law courts where it says if someone's going to sue you for the shirt off your back, well, give them your underwear and your cloak as well. And then the third example, well, you need a little bit of background for that one. In Jesus' day, Roman soldiers had the right to conscript anyone who wasn't a Roman citizen to carry their gear for 1 mile. But they couldn't ask anyone to carry it any further. And then Jesus says, if someone forces you, if someone conscripts you, if someone asks you to carry something for 1 mile, don't mope about it and whine about it and complain about it. Don't let bitterness build up. Don't plot all the ways to get even. Go ahead. Go the extra mile. Now, I don't know about you, but it's almost like Jesus understands exactly how we think. And Jesus knows our go-to response is get back and get even. But then Jesus says faithful living isn't about tit for tat. Kingdom living isn't about an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth. Jesus tells us don't fret and fume and plan all the ways you'll get even. Don't hit back, don't sue back, don't retaliate. After all, hitting back only ups the ante, and all of it just fuels the cycle of violence. Don't feed vendettas, don't harbor grudges, don't fuel resentments, don't tally up your grievances, don't continue family feuds, because they tend to get out of control. Ask the Hatfields and McCoys. Feeding resentment and bitterness is destructive not only to you but to others, and it is completely opposite to the law of love. N.T. Wright says, Jesus offers a new sort of justice, a creative, healing, restorative justice. Better to have no vengeance at all, but rather a creative way forward, reflecting the astonishing, patient love of God. There it is. For harboring resentment and grievances and bitterness and unforgiveness, thankfully that's not what God looks like. And thankfully that's not the way God chooses to act toward us. God chooses to forgive us. We don't deserve it. We deserve the full penalty of the law. We can't ever earn forgiveness. But over and over and over again, God chooses to forgive us. Turn the other cheek. Give rather than resent. Choose to go the extra mile. That sounds like really challenging stuff. And here's the thing, life gives us plenty of opportunities to practice. But the next time everything in you is plotting about how to get even, remember, God chooses to forgive you. And when we choose to extend mercy, we look a lot like our Father, extending love and mercy into our world. Next week, I want to invite you to a new experiment, something different we're trying at Gadsden Street. I want to invite you to be a part of a drive-through worship and communion. It'll be next Sunday, September 6th from 9 to 10:30 in the Gadsden Street United Methodist Church parking lot. Everyone is welcome. It is open communion, open to all who love the Lord, who earnestly repent of their sins and seek to live in peace with God and with one another. As you pull into the parking lot on the 10th Street entrance, you'll be guided through 6 different stops as we worship together. And we're asking that everyone would wear a mask as an act of love for each other. And so until next week, blessings to you.